What's something you're glad your friend introduced you to? Rock climbing. It's become my favorite form of exercise. Not to mention how fun it is. Edit, for everyone asking. A rock climbing gym will have all the resources you need to get started if you don't have any climber friends. I feel like everything I like was introduced. I'm at discovering things on my own. But I'll say sushi. New music. It's always hard for me to figure out what I like, and they helped give me so much from the experiences I got out of it. He introduced me to his closest friends, all really great people. Now we all have good times together and share so many things of mutual interest. It's really opened up my world in a way I hadn't previously thought possible. That's beautiful. The best gift anyone can get is new friends. Or maybe second best. A flamethrower would be pretty damn hard to beat. NGL. That flamethrower though. Although I'd been a lifelong Stephen King fan, I had always avoided the Dark Tower series. A friend kept pushing me on them, insisting I would love them. Stephen King cowboys? No thanks. Finally he bought me the first 4 in a paperback gift set. Series is now one of my favorite reads of all time. I can't thank him enough for insisting. Caw at work. D&D. I would have never played otherwise, and it's so much fun. The fact that you can cook your eggs in your noodles while you're boiling them. Sleep. Seriously. I stayed up all night. Had tight sleep hygiene and poor mental health. We lived together for 6 months and she helped me get on a sleep routine. Changed my life. It's incredible just how much difference a decent sleep schedule can make. I haven't had to use an alarm in years now. And I always wake up at the same time and don't feel like tea. Not to mention just how much more productive during the day you can be. Minecraft. I was mid-20s and they spent years trying to get me to play, but I thought it was a kid's game. I finally played one day and loved it so much that I spent the next 4 years way more into it than they ever were. There are just so many ways to play. You can treat it like a kid's game. You can play it like a kid. You can be an architect. You can be an engineer. Literally anyone can find something that interests them. Settlers of Catan. My sister is notorious for buying people gifts they won't like, just to try and impose her own interests on other people. This time it actually worked. My husband and I have been playing a lot during the lockdown. My friend introduced me to the definition of narcissistic personality disorder. I was going through a lot with my family and constantly being gaslighted. She sent me articles all about it, and I never felt more relieved to know I wasn't insane and I was actually being severely manipulated. A friend of mine accidentally introduced me to the Hitachi magic wand when I was helping her move, and it dropped out of one of the boxes. She was entirely nonplussed. I think she laughed and said, "My baby." I was somewhat of a prude at the time and was suitably scandalized at her being so open about having sex toys, especially the kind that you had to actually plug in like AFK and kitchen appliance. Yeah, that lasted all of 30 seconds after I bought one for myself on her later recommendation. Hoo boy. The cordless, chargeable wand is a great upgrade. Is it loud? My original one sounds like an old Hyundai stuck in the snow. I still love him though. The best thing I got out of my business and economics degree was when my friend gave me a John Mayer CD back in 2002. Literally the reason I started playing guitar. Now it's my career. My wife. 37 years ago. Reddit on second thought. I'm not so sure I'm happy about it. Yeah, Reddit can be AB sometimes. Bloodborne. Magic the Gathering. I used to play when I was a kid and acquired a small collection. I haven't played for years and my cards sat in a box for well over a decade. Now my younger brother plays and it was great watching him go through them with excitement. Turns out some of them have been reprinted and are worth a bit. He was particularly excited that I had a bunch of unglued basic lands. So I gave them to him. I'd never have had any of these if my friend in school hadn't played. I was introduced to MTG by old friends, and after I moved across country MTG introduced me to new friends. Still a cardboard crackhead years later. Themselves. My friend introduced me to pineapples. Now I like pineapples more than my friends. Same. Them just the facts. Honestly to myself, because I'm myself when in front of him, and I wouldn't have discovered myself if he wasn't my friend. Those are the greatest humans. Stardew Valley. It changed my perspective on a lot of things surprisingly. Like turning children into doves. It can be productive. Happiness. I was deeply depressed and in a bad state until I met my now closest friends. After meeting them, I was able to finally get better and am now in a place where I can be happy. Agreed. Sometimes happiness is just being around the right people. Buying better clothes. I used to buy everything at Goodwill even though I saved up enough money to spend it. Nothing matched and it didn't fit properly. Eventually my friend took me out, told me to take some pride in my looks, and bought me new clothes. Looking back, I looked like the definition of a poor virgin. Thanks, Adam. Goodwill and thrift shops in general can have great stuff. You just have to be able to recognize quality. I got a $1,000 tuxedo for $9. Nice birthday gifts. Before I met them I'd never really gotten much birthday gifts. I've always been the kind of person that always gets close people birthday gifts, but my friends bought me a teddy bear for my birthday and came to my home to hide it in my cupboard after I left for school. Then later when they saw me at school all four of them gave me stuff like earrings, rings, chokers and all that. Explosion boxes too, with my pictures. Their writings. Our pictures together. Best friends I could ever ask for. I'm blessed. The Smashing Pumpkins. Before that my taste in music and what I listened to was wholly dictated by my brother and his elitism. My friend really opened my mind and I feel like when I first heard Today, it was when I came of age. It really was the greatest day. Board games. Too bad after I'm married and got my son we never hang anymore. I kinda miss spending a whole day playing board games with my friends. D&D. After initially disliking it after my first session I'm so glad I gave it another go. It's really helped me start getting creative with things again. Plus it's keeping us busy during quarantine. Our group just finished a campaign I joined on the tail end of and I'm really excited to be part of the new long-term campaign from the very beginning. Wait, people are finishing campaigns? Not putting sugar in my coffee. Dude, every time I try to drink coffee black I think, alright, this is going to bitter as all F king hell. And I am going to be 100% prepared and it won't be that bad. Then I take a sip and it's way more bitter than I expected. Then I say, okay. It's pretty bitter. I know. The next sip can't be as bitter, and it still is. Bass. My friends play drums and guitar and they needed a bassist. I have never touched any instrument before and I didn't know anything about music, but they really wanted me in the band so I tried it and to this day I play hours and hours on my baby. It's the best thing ever. I started living with my best friend cause we went to same city for college. She introduced my stubborn mind to accepting things I don't necessarily agree with. She taught me silently how to be a better listener. How to judge less. She taught me to enjoy silence and how meaningful silence can be. Only two people who are completely comfortable with each other can stand in silence and not be annoyed or uncomfortable. In return I taught her to stood up for what she believes. To be a better speaker. I showed her how fun the noise can be. I introduced her to my friends. 'Cause she had just one beside me. A good friendship between two people who are complete opposites in everything they are and do can change both of your lives for better. My husband. That was over 20 years ago. Is your husband's name Tech? Sobriety. My girlfriend. Though to be honest, I'd probably try to meet her regardless of if I had someone to make the introduction. Kayaking. Scuba diving. Cycling. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Guitar. It's how I spend most days. Forever grateful. Anime. Was finally able to grow out a beard but for some reason it's just growing around my neck. Thai food. My friend's parents had been stationed in Thailand for the Peace Corps. We went to a Thai restaurant and it blew my mind. There is a God and he's Thai and he wants us to be happy, was all I could think after my first bite. League of Legends. 10 years later and I still hop on weekly to get called AF King piece of S bronze scrub that should kill myself. Radiohead. A friend of mine in college introduced me to them more than a decade ago. I like to make music myself until today. I consider getting into their music as one of the most life-changing things that has ever happened to me. My friend introduced me to my wife. We had been friends for only a couple of months but she was sure her friend and I would make a great couple. She was not wrong. Leslie Sansone's walk-at-home workout. Super cheesy. I know. but it got me into other fitness and take my life back in control after years of low self-esteem. Depression and emotional eating.